Hello, world. My name is Nikki Lachey, actress and host of this evening's fabulous premiere, Here Comes the Sun, starring Terry J. Vaughn and a slew of other fabulous actors. So join us for all these wonderful interviews where you're going to learn more about the cast and crew and get a little taste of what's to come.
Hello, everyone, and great evening. My name is Nikki Lachey, and I am your host. I'm here with these talented lead actors from the cast of Here Comes the Sun. So we're going to learn a little bit more about them today. First of all, congratulations, guys. Congratulations on a job well done. Let's tell everybody your names.
My name is Christopher Martin, and I play Jeb in the movie.
I am John Dixon, and I get to play Phil in the movie.
I'm Evan Green. I play Ray.
I'm Stanley Drinks Jr., and I get to play Hank Sr.
All right. Awesome. Well, lovely to meet you all. I want to know, I think the world wants to know, what drew you to this script?
Oh, man. Honestly, it was a gift. Like, I didn't know where I was going in this whole film and theater thing, but when he handpicked me for this role, so it was like, where did that come from? Like, it was really...
Because that does not happen often, right? It's a journey, and it could be sometimes unforgiving, right? But you do it because of the passion and the love for the craft, because that's what sustains you, right? And then you get a win. And I think that that's the organic part of the journey. So congratulations to you, Stanley, right? Stanley. So playing your character, what was the, actually, let's go on to, give me your name again? Evan, because there's so much to learn about you guys. Evan, what was your favorite thing about being a part of this film?
Oh my gosh, there's so much. These are real characters. These are people, meat on their bones. There's definitely a journey there. And there's a lot of life. There's a lot of humor. They go through a lot, and so that experience has been super rewarding. Yeah.
So, was there anybody that you heard of that was a part of this film that you were happy and excited to meet?
It's funny you should ask that question. Her name is Terry J. Vaughn. Yes. And shout out to her. Not here tonight, but she got the role as the lead character, who is the son. So it was very honorable for us to have scenes with her, be in a movie with her, and just have that experience.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And last but not least, name one more time.
John Dixon.
John Dixon, I want you to give 3 words to any aspiring actors out there, because you guys nailed some pretty heavy and pivotal roles in the film. Give 3 words to sum up the journey to just inspire the spirit of any aspiring actor looking to kind of nail something that you guys nailed.
Oh, that's simple. Go do it.
Oh, there we go.
Go be an actor. Go be a thespian. Go be whatever you want to be.
There you go.
That's what we're here for.
Yes.
Love, life, energy. Give the love.
And
Give it back.
Yeah.
We go through it.
I love that. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me, for being here and having such positive and great energy, guys. You're in for a great surprise. We're going to catch you guys inside the theater, all right? All right, bye. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us at the premiere of Here Comes the Sun, starring Terry J. Vaughn. Joining us today is Councilwoman of Chattahoochee Hills, Ruby Foster. How are you this evening?
I am excited. I am so excited to be here and excited to be able to be part of this. So I'm really excited.
Now, it's not often that you find an intersection of politics and the arts, and you are a politician. So what brings you here to enjoy the arts with us today?
Well, one of the things is that Miss Monique, we want to come and see her and support her, but also just to support the art on the South Side, because we definitely need that, and this is something that's been needed for a while. So I'm excited.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. That was very, very powerful words from Councilwoman, and good luck in all your endeavors, and thank you for your service to our community. All right. See you next time, guys. Hello, all my film lovers out here. I am Nikki Lachey, and I am here at the premiere of Here Comes the Sun, and I am here with one of our lead actors, Ms. Danielle Manner, who plays the character Yolanda in the movie. Now tell me, Danielle, what was one of the most touching, most sincere moments of playing this character in this movie?
That's really a funny thing to say, because my character is not really sincere at all. She is kind of a quirky, very interesting, almost kind of like a antagonistic kind of character, and so everybody kind of unifies against her, you know, in the movie. So as far as something that's very like touching or endearing, I would definitely say the film at the end. I'm not going to tell what happens, but it was definitely a beautiful unifying moment for everybody in the cast, and they all kind of, you know, banded together, and you can see their growth through my performance. So, you know, normally when you have a movie, most of the characters have an arc and they change. Right. I am the constant within the film, so you can see everything else.
I know, that's right. Well, we're looking forward to see all the ups and downs and all the texture that you bring to the film. Thank you for joining us, and we can't wait to see you shine bright on that screen. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much, Danielle.
Hello, world. It's Nikki Lachey, and I'm so excited to be at another premiere where I get to host. Normally, I'm in front of the camera or I'm on stage, but today I get to really just hobnob and meet and get in the minds and the hearts of other actors and actresses and cast members to really learn about their process. And so it's a very exciting, you know, time for me and just a different perspective that I get to take on by being a host. So I'm just excited, and I can't wait to share with you guys all the fabulous conversations that I've been able to have this evening. And I have this Q&A, this panel discussion that I'll be hosting. So we're going to get really intense, really deep. So we had some fun here on the Step and Repeat before the premiere began, and we're going to have a lot of amazing conversation at the Q&A. So stay tuned, guys. I'm so excited to share my journey with you guys. Bye.
The silent Dr. Christopher Mark. Mr. Ray Evan Green. Phil John Dixon. Stanley Green. And Yolanda. I'm going to leave you all in the hands of this Nikki Lachey.
Grace, I'm going to send for you. We can all send for grace, can't we? We all need some grace, don't we? That was my takeaway from this wonderful, impactful film. With all that texture, we had comedic moments. We had moments that I think brought us to some emotional, you know, cliffs there. How y'all doing on stage? Let's give it up for these actors one more time. To bring a divine thought from the heart to the mind to the page, from the camera to the world. It's not a small undertaking, it's no small feat, so congratulations, give yourselves a round of applause. You deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. Ted, where are you at, Ted? Come on, Ted. Let's get you to the stage, Ted. We got some questions for you. We got some questions for you. You gotta dig into your brain now. Here comes the sun. It all made sense when I started to see everything unfold. There was a lot that came in. There was the sun, there was a light, did it itch? Tell me, did it itch? Because I know you understand us women now. Like, you had, yeah, okay. And then, who brought the greens, the breakfast greens? Where is the props department here? Let me talk to you after the show. Is the props department here? Was the props come from California? Or didn't it? Do y'all know? All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Chris. Give it up for Chris, y'all. Okay, so, Ted. Thank you so much for trusting that divine inspiration that God gave you. It takes, everybody has ideas, but you have to be able to trust the idea that was given to you and understand that it's much bigger than just you. The idea flows through you to be given to the world as a gift, and you have to be able to trust your capabilities to do that. So congratulations to you, Ted. Keep going. Now, Ted, there was such a strong spiritual undertone, without beating us over the head, mind you. It was really beautiful and subtle in some ways and very powerful in other ways. So I'm curious about your personal connection to this story.
Well, I have a real good friend that owns the assisted living. You see the tenants there who were pretty much divorced from their families, abandoned, in a de facto sort of way, they become a family by living in this home. And a lot of times they don't necessarily care for each other. They write with each other like brothers and sisters. And in terms of just making the observation and the sadness of where life is headed, so to speak, it touches you. For me, it was a muse, so I wrote about it.
Absolutely. Here Comes the Sun. That title is not just a statement, but it seems like a metaphor as well. And then did you guys also notice the names of the characters, Ruth, Peter, and even Grace? Did you guys catch that? Tell us a little bit about that, the significance of that title, and also the names, you intentionally choosing those names, or, did it kind of come through you also as the creator idea did as well?
I'm really not that deep. Ruth is a character in the Bible. And if you know the story of Ruth, you know that Ruth was a lady that gave much sacrifice, right? And the people that helped Ruth really didn't know the benefit they would receive from having help. So Ruth, in the left-hand sort of way, was my biblical reference to the story of Ruth in the Bible. In terms of grace, we all need grace, and we all need to send for grace. We all want grace. So those were two ends to a means, so to speak. And what was the other name?
Peter.
Peter. I don't know where Peter.
Does anybody remember a quality of Peter from the Bible? Well, there it is. Perfectly titled. It has it. All right, so I want to ask everybody, just as the title suggests, let's go to the middle. I love that jacket, it gets me every time. State your name for us, please.
Eddie Gatrix.
The writer and actor, right? Writer and actor?
Screenwriter and actor, yeah.
Amazing. Actually, I want to go ahead and ask you in particular, this started out as a stage production, right? And then you transcribed it to a screenplay.
That's correct.
So this is the interesting part for me as a fellow creator. How did you, no two people have the same story. So with two different backgrounds, how are you able to take this story from the stage play and maintain the authenticity for the screen? What did you tap into as a writer to be able to hold on to that and expand upon it?
Well, Ted and I go back quite a way. I appeared in another play of his. And when we started the project, I mentioned to Ted that we have a rather different dimension in film as opposed to stage play. Stage play is very dialogue-oriented, and film is very show-oriented. I said, and when I saw the script, we were talking about it, and we made some adjustments, but I said, and I don't know if any of you know the movie 12 Angry Men. Henry Fonda. It's an old movie, Academy Award. I said, but if we're going to go this way, we've got to have strong actors. when you've got a dialogue-oriented movie, you've got to have strong actors. And we've got them right here on this stage.
Certainly do. Yes, absolutely.
So, they made the movie, and it was a pleasure working. It's always a pleasure. And I've worked with these people before, and worked with Ted, so it's been just a pleasure working with the professionals on this stage.
Lovely. So familiarity, and it sounds like trust. There was a lot of trust and belief, for you to trust him to tell that story and be the trusted actors to take what you wrote on that paper and bring it to life. So that's amazing. Amazing chemistry here. So let's pass the mic to our comedic relief here who did such a fantastic job. Such a fantastic job. What's so fantastic about comedy that nobody really thinks about is that there is tragedy in comedy, because it's true. And how many of us have found ourselves laughing to forget the pain or laughing our way through pain? So that's what's so beautifully authentic about these comedic moments that you brought to us in the midst of all of this very real and present trauma that everybody had. I want to ask, as a human being though, what's a moment that the sun came out for you?
Great question. I'm Christopher Martin, once again, Jeb. And like most of the people on here, I have a story with Ted Johnson, who I love dearly, has done a lot in my acting career. And much like Edward, we were in another play together, and that's how I met Ted after Atlanta Law, as a matter of fact. So when, I'm gonna go to the other play and then we'll get to Here Comes the Sun. So he has another play in 3 days. Yes! Yes. And he was the son for me. What Ted doesn't know, and I'll share right now, a 5-year relationship with a woman I really loved had ended about 9 days before he just called me out of the blue and said, do you want to be the lead in this play I got? Which was in 3 days. And at that point, if you've ever been in a relationship that's broken up, sitting there, sorrow, why did she break up? I want to break her stuff. I don't want to go to jail. I really love her. And the play, Here Comes the Sun, the play in 3 days gave me something to do, rehearsal every night to get my mind off of that and still do something that I love, which is acting. And he didn't know, the cast didn't know, but I needed something to take my mind off the situation. So that was the sun for me, to answer your question, was that play and that opportunity. And the sun got brighter when the guy, just some stuff behind the scenes of Here Comes the Sun, other actor left, this, that, and happened. Ted shines on me again. He's like, I got this part, Jeff. Do you want to be in the play? Absolutely. And the sun shined one more time, then it became a movie. And I'm eternally grateful for Ted being the sun in my life and in my acting career. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And one last thing about the comedy, I just love comedy, and I appreciate him and the directors giving me that freedom to take Jeb and make him a lovable, airhead, comedic kind of guy. And I appreciate you guys for, enjoying the character in the movie. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Absolutely. Now, one thing that I noticed was this vulnerability. That typically, if we're going to be honest here, men are still trying to find their place with vulnerability in this world. I think that's a discussion that's new, and I think it's a discussion that's still unfolding. But I think that there's still room for growth for that. And I love how this film explored the vulnerabilities, or rather exposed the vulnerabilities that if you were on a file, if you were a file wall, that's what you would see. But the world would typically see these things. And so I wanted to ask, hey, the mic is perfectly placed. Give us your name.
I'm Don Scully.
Don Scully. I love that voice. Okay. Please, Mr. Don Scully, in what ways do you think that the vulnerability of men can be given more of a safe space in this world?
Well, for me, it was actually on this stage here. In fact, my first start on stage was in this very theater with another theatrical production, The Boy in the Pink Bear, which showed here in 2013, and Ted gave me the opportunity. It's kind of hard to discuss, but I lost my father 4 days before my 9th birthday. He was killed in an accident. And for a number of years, I held on to a lot of anger. And that's the only emotion I would give myself permission to feel, was anger. And I held on to that for a long, long, long time, and it almost took my life. And it wasn't until I gave myself permission, through acting and through stage, to genuinely feel, to grieve. It saved my life. And I think especially a lot of young men and all that, you know, it's not macho to cry or to show any weakness and all. You gotta be strong, you know, you gotta suck it up and drive on, as they used to say in the Army. But, you know, when you allow yourself to genuinely grieve, and you free yourself, and you reach that dimension where, hey, you know what, it still hurts, but I'm no longer going to let it hold me back. And that's what it did for me. So we share the same father. This guy is my brother. I was also co-leading on the In 3 Days. Brother here. I tell you, when we were joined at the hip, I love this guy. And Ted, you saved my life. So I just love you guys. Thank you guys for all coming out.
Thank you. That was absolutely beautiful. I'd like to actually hear from someone else. Does anyone else have, and I want to give you guys the freedom to, because it may touch somewhat differently than the next, the safe space for men to be vulnerable. How can the world or a significant other or just any facet of your life, not even personal, but just in your observation as a man, or even from a woman's perspective, because those of us who are objective can understand this too, you know, being empathetic. How can a safer environment for men be cultivated so that men can have more of a belonging and more of an openness to feel vulnerable?
Well, to be honest, it just takes more men opening up to be vulnerable, for that to show the rest of the people that, yeah, I can do this, it's not scary. I can be open. I can show you my emotions. And guess what? Instead of being targeted and then taken down, you know, the other men around me, when I'm open around, I know that I give them an opportunity to be open around me. And I always give somebody, and I'm always telling them, like, hey man, this is how I'm feeling today, how you feeling? We're doing a check-in, we're doing our bro check-in today, you know? And to keep it funny, but also to keep it serious, is that for a man, humor has to be involved somewhere in it, and then the seriousness will sink in. And for a man, this is all new. I mean, for men to be open and be vulnerable is we've been taught for years and years that that's weak. But I'm gonna tell you, that's more strength than I can give any person in the world. If I can let you see who I really am as another human being, why would you want to be my enemy? Why? You actually have a connection with me that you had no idea, but now I'm telling you, we have a connection. So it takes men to be vulnerable for that trend to keep going on.
I see. And each one will teach one by example.
Exactly.
About leadership. Yeah, men certainly lean and learn from each other more than anyone else. And so standing up.
And strong women too. Like seriously, like it takes a strong woman. And we all have a mother figure or somebody in our head that we look up to. Because it's not just men doing, like, opening up for men. It's everybody opening it up for men. So we can all, because you're a strong woman. I see so many strong women here tonight that, to be honest, I wouldn't be as cool as I am without any of y'all. And cool is a loose word, I'm gonna use it for myself. But it takes a village, right? You know?
Y'all recall that scene where Phil is speaking with Terry in the living room and he's discussing her brother standing up in the room for so long?
Yes.
That scene was derived from a friend of mine, Coach Wilson, back in the back. Could you stand up, Coach Wilson? He was my teammate. 40 years ago in college. And he and I used to have a lot of heart-to-hearts. And he said to me, he probably has no recollection whatsoever of this conversation. He said, you know what, man? He said, men never cry. You know that? We never cry. And sometimes we just need a good cry. You recall that? You recall that? But many years ago. But I like, in terms of writing, I like taking little excerpts from my friends of conversations that we've had, either Coach Wilson, my brother, Kwame Namina here in the room, just certain little antidotes from people that I've heard in the past over the years and making them relevant in a piece. And every time I see you do that piece, John, I think of my friend Willis because that's where I lifted it from.
That's what art is all about. We take life, as creators, as artists, we take life, we observe it, take it in, and kind of use it as teaching moments or moments of creation or moments of acknowledgement, even lending voices, our voices to the voiceless or people who may not have been able to tell their own stories. And I think that that's the power of art. Art can be extremely healing. With that being said, art being a healing element, these men, again, being a fly on the wall, have kind of exposed us all to some of the ails that these particular executive men have been going through. But they all have, some of them have children, they're all sons. You know, some of them are siblings to someone else. But in ways they were not able to show up. But to the person they were not able to show up for, it may come off as, why doesn't he want me? Or why doesn't he love me? Or why is he so abusive? And I think so often, we always see the what. We always see the what. And I think that we can attest to this, everyone in our own personal lives, but how often do we ask why? Why is this person acting like this? Why does she have trust issues? Why is he so angry? How often do we ask why instead of just judging the what? And I think that if we peel back some layers, if we care to just be a person in the spirit of love, let's say Ruth for instance, and providing that safe space, we may be able to assist a person in peeling back their own layers and living a better quality of life. In what ways has emotional and mental health or lack thereof affected men's ability to show up and people not quite understand that? Has anybody bore witness to that? I think this film has been a very powerful lesson in asking why behind the what.
Well, I'll just say the why is probably the most important part. You know, we, as men, you know, you see it, we don't really emote enough, I guess. We're not out to other people. Before this little personal story, before I started acting, I lost like a really, really, really good friend, really good family friend. So, like for me, being able to play these characters and be on stage and just emote and allow other people to see it, I'm hoping that maybe that opens the door and maybe you'll start asking more of the whys, you know, and less judgmental, and just let people be.
dating other characters, Yolanda, girl, you body that so well. Yolanda still.
Gosh, this is such a poignant question for you guys and for the men up here. I don't want to detract from anything, but I really think that it's just really important to give people an avenue and to just speak to them and to let them know that, hey, this is a safe space, it's okay. I'm not here to judge you, I'm not here to make you feel any kind of way. And for me personally, being an actor, I've always loved the study of human behavior. So I constantly ask the question of why. Why do people tick the way that they do? Because it's very difficult to be an actor and be able to successfully replicate human behavior if you don't know the why. And so learning all of those things within this space, it's just been very important for me and the men in my life, for me to make sure that I let them know that this is a safe space, that I'm not going to make you feel less than, or I'm not going to invalidate you, or I'm not going to make you feel a certain kind of way because you've come and been vulnerable with me. There's a difference between being vulnerable and being emotional. And I think that a lot of men equate vulnerability to being emotional, and that's a feminine trait that they don't want to express. That is a form of weakness for them. But I think if we learn to delineate between being emotional and being vulnerable in a moment, then I think that that would help the men, and it would help everybody as a whole.
Beautiful, beautiful. You see how important art is, and the conversations, and the thoughts that it stimulates. Art is so significant in our world, and we should all maintain such a sincere respect and appreciation for it. I want to pass the mic down to, you have a mic. Hello there. I wanted to actually ask you that same question because you come from a different perspective, being, you portray the grieving the wife. But you also have to deal with a son that was not present, and there was some obvious tension there. So, from your character's perspective, just knowing that that was the reality there, but from your human experience and your own human observation of this whole experience, share with us a little bit about how the not even caring about the why, not even caring about the why impacted this whole relationship dynamic, and maybe how we as a society can move beyond that.
I really have to say, and piggyback on what you were saying, is that I think as women, we have to be more accountable. Not only have men been brought up to not cry, to not complain, to just be tough, we have been taught that men are supposed to be tough and not cry and not be emotional and sentimental. So it's not just on them. I was brought up that way. I was brought up that men are there to take care of you and to be strong, and you take the kids and you cook and you clean. My father did not complain. My father did not cry, and he didn't want my brother to cry or complain. So as a woman, I realized that part of their hesitancy to open up to us is that we don't allow it. They don't feel comfortable. You don't feel comfortable coming up and saying what hurt you. I have a wonderful husband who feels strong enough to open up when I hurt him, to open up when I say something, and then I'll call him a girl. But and that's in a playful manner. But I mean, I see that in all these men, is that they weren't able to open up to their wives, to their children, and be themselves. So,
well, how did that switch, being that that was your environment growing up? How did you understand to make that switch so that you could have a healthy and safe marriage?
Trial and error.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's not my first, rodeo. And I know where I made mistakes. I know that I was not facilitating them, a safe space to be open with me. And then I wonder why they weren't. And I think now I've learned by my mistakes. I know that it takes two. And, we have both grown. And I feel, but I see it in this film, and I see, these men struggling, and it's sad because we've all met men in that situation, whether they're hurt physically or emotionally, or have been left by their wife and their children, or have lost everything because of addiction. So, this is something that with age, and this is why I'm so happy to finally be doing something that I wanted to do all my life. And I wanted to thank Ted and this whole cast. They accepted me. I was the last one coming in. I believe it was a role that was added for the film, so I was not in the play. And every one of them made me feel so welcome, and that I added something to the film, and I really appreciate it. Thank you, Ted.
Thank you for bringing that and sharing that very vulnerable moment. It was just those real moments really informed the creative. And so I was so curious about what you tapped into that informed the dynamic between you and your stepson, and what that tension was. So thank you for sharing that moment. Please tell us your name.
Hi.
Give her name.
I am Celia Isla, or Celia Isla.
How did y'all like that soundtrack?
She got love.
Yeah, Shantae, talk to us. How did you feel about the use of your music?
Oh my goodness. First of all, this is so awesome. Hello to everybody. It's such an honor. Wow, this is, an amazing opportunity. Oh, I gotta stand up. Sorry, guys. First of all, I felt like, okay, I don't know how to say this without sounding German, but I almost felt like it was perfect for it because the song For Your Dreams there's a line that said, reach up and kiss the sun, you've already won. So like, how in the world is there a whole movie out here that was like, speaking to the music that was already resonating with inside me, music that I already had the blessed chance to share with people across the world, and now to be able to connect to a whole nother sea of people and community and family. Like, I am truly, truly thankful, honored, and blessed, and yes, applause to everyone.
Yes, well, actually, Ed is a jazz buff and a jazz musician. I'm a jazz buff, okay? Ed's real good friends with the one and only Regal Blue. WCL played, and Ed and I were trying to find music to go along, the soundtrack to go along with our flick. And Ed said, well, what about this con girl? I said, I don't want to be con. But that led to dialogue, and we ended up finding, with Ms. help, Ms. Con. And of course, we put our pennies together so we could afford her, because she's expensive.
Oh, wonderful. It was. I was getting my Yes, it was perfect.
Let me just say, you didn't get caught because my name is pronounced Can. So now you know.
Wonderful. Thank you, Cass, for getting a little in those grooves with me. We're going to come back up, but before we do, we're going to take some questions from our lovely, lovely audience. We'll start with question number one. Do we have anybody that would like to ask a question for our wonderful cast, crew? We have our writer up here. We have our wonderful creator visionary here.
We're only going to take 10 more minutes, and then we're going to Lord watch us.
I just want to say congratulations. Awesome movie. All of you did a great job. Terry sends her apologies. She wanted to be here. She had the really honor of getting directing a movie, a Hollywood movie in Italy. So, but one thing that really touched, I think, everybody, it brought out a lot of emotions and things that people are dealing with. But one thing you said, when your son told you that he was gay, and they asked, why didn't you tell him? And you said, it's not about me, it's about him. And that's so true with a lot of people. It really touched me because I talked to my 38-year-old son, and sometimes what he says comes back to me. He brings you back someplace. He's like, no, I'm not talking about this. Is just about me, what I'm trying to tell you. And you're right, you brought that home. So everybody, though, was so good, Ted. All of you are awesome.
That was Ms. Leah Gray. She works as our publicist for this piece.
Thank you for being here, representing Terry. Send her all of our love. I know that they spend more time with her, but I appreciate the performance. Absolutely. Okay, so do we have another audience question for our panel here? All right, then. Hello.
Hello. My name is Andy. Congrats on the film. It was really beautiful. I really enjoyed it. And as a young filmmaker myself, I would like to know about your not only your inspiration, but rather your biggest takeaway from the production of the film. I know that as we grow, some people think that we can't learn as we grow, but we're always learning and we're always taking something new away from us. So during this production, what is the biggest thing that you've taken away from it? And what's the biggest thing you learned?
Trust nobody. People say that they have certain abilities, make them prove it. And let me give you all the perfect example. There's probably only one person in this room that has won an Emmy. It's one person in this room that has been a part of a team that's not only Emmy nominated, but actually won. And he's sitting right there with a baseball cap on and a sweat top. Right, it's Greg Jackson, who basically was the director of photography of this particular piece. So I say that to say the things that are shining aren't necessarily what's best for you, but to go beyond skin deep to make sure that whatever someone's offering you, that they can truly deliver. And you'll find that out real quick. And sometimes the hard way. But they say some of the most significant lessons are very expensive.
Amen. And what they say, trust but verify. Ain't that right?
That's it.
So do we have one more question? One more question? Are we good?
We're good. How many of you all have some veterans in your life? I'm sure almost everyone. And I'm sure there are some veterans here. And on behalf of the entire staff, cast, and crew, we thank you for your service.